Previously on Wild Billz.
Shoot fish! Got it! Good job. Good job. Thank you.
Rough conditions stir up the sails in day one of the Sailfish Challenge.
Fish number 2, 77 green, 4 aces.
Leaving Wild Billz team's 4 aces in liquid in the top 10 out of 70 boats.
Let's go!
I'll take on the bets if anybody wants to throw them.
While Team Vitamin C2's last-ditch release at Lines Out keeps them in the game.
Get the visual! Get the visual again! We got it! We got it! We got it!
With only one more day in the third leg of the Quest for the Crest Sailfish Series, the Sailfish Challenge finale is on. For 5 months of intense competition.
Everybody wants to take the top prize, to get recognized as winning the biggest event.
Through 4 hard-fought, high-stakes tournaments.
We're going to work hard at it and do whatever it takes to get the bites.
The world's best sailfishing teams put it all on the line once again in their quest to get tight with the fastest fish in the sea, the iconic, acrobatic Atlantic sailfish.
Every time I see one come up on a kite bait, it just, I can't help it. I love it.
At stake, a multi-million-dollar purse, the coveted burgundy jacket.
We will be putting on that jacket at the end of the season.
And title of #1 sailfishing team in the world. Only one team will reign victorious in the prestigious Quest for the Crest Sailfish Series. The rematch of Teams Liquid, 4 Aces, and Vitamin C2. Wild Billz.
Wild Billz, presented by Bass Pro Shops.
125 orange. Fish on.
In day 1 of the Sailfish Challenge, most releases were either at the northern boundary or at the southern boundary, with almost 100 miles of extreme chop in between. The marine forecast for Saturday and the Sailfish Challenge finale: sunny with a high in the mid-70s, east-northeast winds at 10 to 15 knots, bay waters a moderate chop. The 3 Inlet Sailfish Challenge is the world's largest sailfishing tournament, with 70 teams spread out from Jupiter Inlet down to the upper Florida Keys.
The tournament whole atmosphere, if you fish tournaments, you get fired up. You get jitters in the morning, you're just excited. The whole atmosphere gets you excited.
Yesterday, Team 4 Aces placed 6th with 5 releases at the northern boundary, and they did it without owner-lead angler Peter Adrian. Health issues continue to keep him on the sidelines of the sport he fancies and finances with a passion.
I've always been on the water, always been competing, and bill fishing is my passion. I love to bill fish since I was a little boy. I won my first tournament in 1989. I've won probably every tournament in South Florida and some in other countries that have to do with bill fishing. You have to have a passion to put up with the ups and downs emotionally and in every way, economically, morally. You have problems with your crew, your boats break, you go a whole season putting in all these monies in these pots and you don't win any money. There's a lot of ups and downs in this sport. So if you're not truly passionate about it, you won't last.
Today, Team 4 Aces returns to the northern boundary, and Team Liquid returns to the southern boundary, which yielded 5 releases and a top 10 position in day 1.
Same deal we did yesterday, we did again today, but this time the ocean was much nicer, so we stayed in the ocean the whole run down and were able to make it down there actually with a little time to spare, so we poked out about 5 miles short of the boundary with the intentions of working our way down to the boundary, and knew right away it's better today than it was yesterday right off the bat. The edge was made up real tight in about 120 feet of water and really overcast and not easy to see watercolor too well, but with what it looked like in the wash behind us, it seemed like it was going to be perfect.
Yesterday, Vitamin C2 finished near the northern boundary and walked away with only 3 releases. Will they change their strategy today?
Everybody did awesome yesterday. There was no mistakes. Everything was going out quick, smoothly. They all did their job. I mean, we're 3 for 3. I say it every time. If we go 100%, we'll be fine by the end of the season or the end of the tournament. If we fished all day where we ended up yesterday, I think we would have had a few more bites and probably been right in there.
So Captain Tim Maddock makes the call, and they punch it up to near Jupiter Inlet.
We're the first boat there. Here comes everybody. We get set up, and You know, we start to blow the balloons up. We had no wind at all.
Just a different day today.
Little wind, bro.
Winds calmed down a little bit. Fished the same general area. We maybe moved a little bit more to the north. The kingfish weren't as thick as they were yesterday. The dolphin weren't as thick as they were yesterday. The birds weren't bothering us like they did yesterday.
Lines in for the Billztv challenge.
Lines in, lines in.
Shortly after lines in, it started rolling bites around us and here in the call-ins, and they were all from the south where we were. So reaffirmed that we had made the right decision, and we started our day right, bounced up against the boundary down on the south end, and the current was boiling north, so we were safe and going to travel up pretty good. A few minutes later, it turned out to be the right spot.
Coming up next, it's sailfish all around,
Left middle, it's him.
and the Wild Bills teams are up for the challenge. 45 minutes into the Sailfish Challenge finale, Captain Art Sapp is about to encounter a pot of sails.
Kind of laid the boat over and started pulling against the current. Kind of forces the bait to work a little harder, gets Jimmy an opportunity to get his bait stretched out real far.
He's tracking south fast.
And he did, and got bit. And, you know, whatever, and there's so much line out in that scenario. You know, the fish are naturally moving towards us, and the fish didn't jump, but he's saying, man, this feels right, it's right, I think it's gonna be right. We get piled on the right middle.
Left middle, it's him. Left middle. That bait right over there is being bit by a sailfish. Get up with your rod tip, Mike. Up
Perfect.
high with your rod
It's
tip.
gonna guarantee it, and then seconds later, Jimmy sees his fish up and wave. Yep, all right, double, for sure. Both of them work out just right, working south, but Jimmy's fish is just inside of Keith's, and we can see them both on top now as they're pushing south. So Keith fish disappears, kind of moving fast to the south, and you know, things are starting to get a little clustered, so a couple of short baits come down to make sure that they don't cause an issue. Keith's fish does a back wally loop around, I don't know what you want to call it.
Did you get that?
And mows Jimmy down quick. Well, while that's going on, we're getting bit on the right long now, and we got another spinner stretched out that's getting bit. And somehow, of those 4 bites,
Do not touch yellow. Do not touch yellow.
everything goes horribly wrong and we catch one.
Right underwater, right there. Touch fish. Touch fish. Great work, guys. Great work.
Yeah, it was very upsetting, but internalize that, pack it away, and get positive, get moving forward. So let's jump it again. And we jump to the south, and I'm not willing to go more than 1/10 of a mile from the boundary. In case you do get bit, they're gonna go south, and now you're stuck. So I set right on 1/10 of a mile, and again, I spin it around and start steaming to the south.
Sail, 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 sail.
And Jim Steele screaming flopper shortly after. Turns out we got another fish eats a spinning rod.
It's a sail. He's going hard. You gotta go on him. You gotta go on him.
And gets wrapped in the leader, wrapped in the main line, and goes jumping, and that doesn't work.
Come on.
You gotta be kidding me here. So we're 1 for 5 at this point. And it's maybe 9-15 at most. But we got a pattern working here, though. Clearly, we're pulling these baits, we're gonna get bit.
While Team Liquid tries to keep the sails on,
Do they have sailfish offshore of us?
Vitamin C2 is near the northern boundary, waiting for some action.
We're sitting there and, you know, we get set up shallow, everybody's out deeper, the bait hooks one right away, catches one. I'm like, now we're starting to push out. Another boat caught one, and I'm like, come on, reel, man, let's make a move. Went, made a move. Shortly after, we hooked one.
There's Timmy's fish. Easy, Goose, easy.
The most stubborn fish of the entire tournament.
And we fought that fish for 40 minutes.
It didn't want to come to the boat.
There it is. Back up, Goose. Back up, back up. Get him, Mike. Bum. Catch that fish, get set back up, put him out. And my son's on his phone, shocker. And he goes, Utopia's got 7. And my son's like, let's go. To me, kind of up on the top, and no one else heard it. And I'm like, we fish, a couple more minutes, and I'm like, you guys want to make the sickest move ever?
He goes, let's go to the other boundary. Who wants to go there? All the kids, because they're like...
They slept the whole way up on the boat
Yeah,
while
they're
we
all
were in
ready
the
to
top
go.
driving.
They're like, let's go, come on, we're leaving. And I look up there like, I thought I was like poltergeist, my head just twisted. I go, are you really serious? We're talking about going? This has never been done before. You just don't go from a boundary to another boundary.
But it was early, and if it was 2 hours, and if the bite's going off.
If it was 2 hours.
Right.
And if it was like a nice calm day and you could go as fast as you can, it would have been maybe 2 hours. We're in a situation right now where it's rough, and there's no way it was gonna be 2 hours. You're looking, because both Tim and I know from this point to this point, this point to this point, how long it's going to take in this type of weather.
Team 4 Aces stays put in their position near the northern boundary and are soon rewarded with their first hookup today.
Got a sailfish. I was glancing over at the right side for a mere second. I look over back to my left and my rod was already kind of doubled over. I reel tight, sailfish starts jumping. It's kind of an easy bite since the rod kind of did all the work itself. Started fighting him. It was a real stubborn fish. He jumped originally, and then after that he wanted to stay down.
He's kicking our butts right now. He's staying down deep. He's not really cooperating. Doesn't want to. Usually when they stay up on top, we can get on top of them real quick, grab the leader, we get good shots of them jumping.
You can't really do much. We're kind of fishing light tackle, so especially when they put their dorsal fin up, they're down deep. You kind of just gotta let the fish do its thing and wait for it to pop up.
So after a while, after probably 4 or 5 times of us watching him rise to the surface, I realized I just gotta wait, and he popped up finally and started jumping, and we were able to get the release.
There we go! Tail wrap.
Fish number 1, day 2.
What do you think, Jimmy?
Down near the southern boundary, just after going 1 for 5, Team Liquid has another shot.
Regroup, get it all going again. Jimmy gets tight again on the spinner. Pretty quick.
I see him, I see him, I see him.
Well, we know what's going down here. They're coming.
Feed him, feed him!
And right middle goes off again. Left short gets tight for sure. Right middle gets tight, and here's another one. Boils on the left middle.
Pop out on the short, quickly.
Wonderful.
Pop out.
Start wheeling around and chafe down on the left middle. Came back without a hook from a sailfish. And it was a perfect feed. I don't understand how that one went wrong. But again, we wheel around and get ready to go after Matt Gulla's fish. It was just off the port bow.
Right here, behind me, behind me!
And here comes Keith's fish jumping straight at the boat on the starboard midship. Screaming, get the camera guy back around. He wheels back around, gets that shot pretty quick, and I may have had that fish tight for 20 seconds and done. Perfect. Wheel back around, catch Matt's fish pretty quick, and it's a shame you can't do it all at once because Jimmy's fish was cooperating so perfectly for a little while right on top, and it works around and goes deep. But it's fine. We worked the thing back and maybe spent 4 or 5 minutes on that fish. So from start to finish on a triple header out of a quad, we finished that thing in 7 or 8 minutes.
We wound up getting tight on 3 out of the 4 that we had bites from and worked through it and caught all 3 of them. So, you know, at this point now we've got 4 fish.
At 9:30 a.m., day 2 of the Sailfish Challenge, Team Liquid is in 4th place out of 70 boats and hoping to stay on this streak. Coming up next, with only 1 release each, what will Wild Bill's team's 4 Aces and Vitamin C2 do to move up on the board?
Here we go. Coming in. Fast as you can, guys.
Team Liquid hits a dry spell and makes a move as they lament the 4 sailfish that got away and would have tied them for the top spot.
Reset and the day progresses, and we get piled on by another one on the right middle. All right.
Right middle. He just blew up on it. Definitely sailed.
Feeding off perfect. It gets kind of close to the left middle, so get ready to lift the left middle.
Left middle. Lead on the
Keith's coming tight, and another one tries to pile on the left middle just as Keith's line's coming through.
He just swung and missed again.
This bait's coming out of the water.
It's not over yet. That
Fish is begging for it, and drop it back on the other side of the line, and the fish goes off with the other one.
Bless a cow. How does that happen?
Missed opportunity there.
Got the touch. We're good.
But we catch that one at least, right? So now we're up to 5.
278 blue.
At this point, Team Vitamin C2 is in the middle of the sickest move ever, from northern boundary to southern boundary.
It ended up being almost 100 miles when you do the math. I'm like, if we can run 40 knots, we'll, okay, 2 hours. 10 at 12, line's in at 12:30. I'm looking at the fuel gauge, I'm looking at the time. We're getting our asses kicked. We get right in front of Hillsborough Inlet. Took 1 hour and 10 minutes. And one of the guys opened up the bilge hatch and we're full of water. Bilge pumps aren't working.
But that's another like 500 pounds to 1,000 pounds added onto the boat.
So we're pumping water out. What do? We got fuel? How's the bait? We gotta take these baits from that well. Keep going. This happens a couple more times before we get down there.
Here we are 2 hours later, 85 miles.
I don't see Artie, I don't see Utopia, I don't see any of the boats that are on the top.
Let's see if we can make it happen.
Meanwhile, Team 4 Aces is catching fish aplenty.
Got a little mahi-mahi action here.
Just not the right species.
Not what we're looking for, but a little action.
Magi on the long. It was real tough, especially hearing all the fish caught in the opposite end of the boundary down in Miami, and we're fishing all the way up in Jupiter. But it happens based on what we saw yesterday. We thought we were fishing the best area, and for whatever reason, today it just didn't happen up here for us. And the second fish of the day actually ate a flatline.
Thought it was a kingfish. It ate like a kingfish, and I just came tight right away. And I saw a line coming up, and it was the biggest sailfish I think we had all weekend. It was pretty big.
He jumped like crazy in the beginning, and sounded down a little bit. I thought we'd be on him a little bit quicker.
Maybe 10-minute fight, 12-minute fight.
We got us number 2 of the day. Half hour, 25 minutes left. It wasn't the day we were expecting, but maybe we get this one in quick and get a double or a triple and try to move up the ladder and get some points.
Ryan got up on him as soon as he did.
There, get him, mate, get him. Got him.
Joe got the release, and we called it in, and it was our second one. Just too little, too late.
Come on, put him out. Number 7.
We were hoping to have another fish or two pop up while we were fighting that one, but no. The boat next to us actually ended up hooking one. I think he missed 1 or 2 others at the same time, so unfortunately, he had the multiples that we were looking for, but we didn't get those bites.
345 orange, 4 aces, boat 22. Good job, Cap.
Yeah, buddy.
Following a daring trek from the northern to southern boundary, Team Vitamin C2 has failed to hook up, and it's just minutes to lines out.
Our flatline guy.
He's gonna give me a shiny.
No. Yeah. Our flatline guy. Every boat that I've talked to in the last 2 days. Oh yeah, we just broke one off on a flatline. Just caught one on a flatline. Our flatline guy can't catch. Just bad luck. 20 minutes left. Mike goes, let's switch. You work the left long, I'm gonna work the flat line.
Just gotta do it.
As soon as Ben handed Mike the rod, he gets bit. Bonita. Okay, but he caught a fish. Finally on the flat line.
Still time left until that last minute where they say lines out. Anything can happen. That's the great thing about sail fishing down here in South Florida. So I cast out another bait, and it was just going up perfect.
There he is.
He's like, I'm bit. I'm looking at his
He goes,
spool.
yeah, right.
So I start backing off so the flat line can do its thing, and there he is, up jumping.
Right in front of the boat.
He's like,
You got it, right? There he is. Okay, here, get it. Okay. Hey, look, okay, right here. It's right here. I have to cut it. Come on.
Yeah, we had to actually call in the fish, a hookup, and we got I think there was one, we released it and there was 1 minute left.
Bye!
Oh yeah, see? It's the touch.
Fish number 2, day 2, confirmation 348 orange, angler Mike, vitamin C2.
But the 11th hour release is too little too late for Vitamin C2. The result of relocating? Too much precious fishing time lost. Next on Wild Billz, the Sailfish Challenge finale, and heading to colorful Key West for the final sail in the Quest for the Crest Sailfish Series. As it turns out, no team comes close to Team Hichi in the Sailfish Challenge. Following their 11 release day 1, plus 7 releases today, Hichi finishes first with a whopping 18 releases.
I think I moved a little early on a couple, and maybe just a little bit of lack of experience on multiples on our somewhat newer crew. It cost us a few opportunities that just can't happen if we're going to be as successful as we're looking to be. But all in all, a great weekend, a great event.
Team 4 Aces wraps out with a disappointing 7 releases in the Sailfish Challenge.
We had a good day the first day. Today wasn't very good, but we had a good percentage. Kept what we saw, we kept on. We're gonna have to try and regroup and do a little bit better next tournament for sure. We gotta tighten up a few things and see what we can do here.
And Vitamin C2's time-consuming boundary-to-boundary run leaves them with only 5 releases.
Oh well. Fished hard again, as usual. That's how it is. Gotta wait for the next one.
While Team Liquid's morning rally lands them in the top 10 for the Sailfish Challenge.
Started off red hot and then faded into a not as well as we had hoped. But 8th place, not bad.
Liquid earns enough points to push them up to 2nd place in the Quest for the Crest Sailfish Series.
We picked up points on everybody ahead of us in the overall.
It's very important because I didn't hear the boat that was leading it score a whole lot of points, or the 3 boats ahead of us, I didn't hear score a whole lot of points this weekend. So in the big picture, we did okay.
Lead us off! Let's go.
Next, the Wild Billz teams head to tropical Key West, Florida, home to world-class fishing, world-class parties, and the final sail. 4th and final leg of the Quest for the Crest Sailfish Series. And while Team Liquid has a good shot at the jacket and title, a cash purse of $800 grand is also at stake.
I'm looking at Key West, 3 dailies overall. We got to win 1 daily.
Me and Peter have won a lot of money in Key West in the past, and I've won money in Key West with a lot of different people, so I feel, it's a good place for us.
This is our home turf. It's my home turf, at least. My family's had a house down here in the Keys since I was a teenager. I grew up fishing down here, and that's where I've fished most of my life. So we love it down here. We know the area very well, and we've been very lucky and successful here with tournaments in the past.
If it's between Key West and Fort Pierce and most anywhere in the Bahamas, and even probably further north than that, then it's my backyard. I'm not worried about it. It's fishing.
One thing you can bet on, the Wild Billz teams will show up in Key West 100% prepared and raring to finish on top. Next week on Wild Billz, Key West, Florida, where the world's elite sail fishing teams meet to compete for over $800,000, the Burgundy Jacket, and title of #1 in the world. It's the final sail of the Quest for the Crest Sailfish Series.